Every second, enormous quantities of water flow through rivers around the world. But inside a hydropower plant, this moving water can do something remarkable. It can rotate a machine weighing several tons at hundreds of revolutions per minute, and ultimately generate electricity for thousands of homes. At the heart of this process is one extraordinary piece of engineering, the hydropower turbine. But how exactly does flowing water make a turbine rotate? And how does that rotation become electricity? Let's go inside a hydropower plant and find out. The process begins with something very simple: height. Water stored behind a dam or at a higher elevation contains gravitational potential energy. The greater the difference in elevation between the water source and the turbine, the greater the available head. When water is allowed to travel downward toward the powerhouse, its potential energy is converted into hydraulic energy. Large pipes called penstocks carry this water toward the turbine, and this is where the real energy conversion begins. Let's look at a Francis turbine, one of the most widely used turbine types in hydropower plants. Water first enters the spiral casing, sometimes called the scroll casing. Its shape helps distribute water around the circumference of the turbine. The water then passes through stay vanes and adjustable guide vanes. The guide vanes have an extremely important job. They control how much water enters the runner and direct that water toward the runner blades at the required angle. When more power is required, the governing system can open the guide vanes. When less power is required, it can close them. Now we reach the heart of the turbine, the runner. Water enters the runner with hydraulic energy. As it flows across the specially designed runner blades, its pressure and velocity change. This interaction creates force on the blades. Because that force acts around the turbine's rotational axis, it produces torque, and the runner begins to rotate. In other words, the turbine is performing an energy conversion. It is converting the hydraulic energy of water into mechanical rotational energy. But we still haven't generated electricity. For that, we need another machine. The turbine runner is connected through a shaft to an electrical generator. So when the turbine rotates, the generator rotor rotates with it. Inside the generator, this rotating magnetic field interacts with stationary electrical windings in the stator. Through electromagnetic induction, electrical voltage is produced. Current can then flow into the power system. So the complete energy conversion looks like this. Water energy becomes mechanical energy in the turbine, and mechanical energy becomes electrical energy in the generator. A transformer then increases the voltage so that electricity can be transmitted efficiently through the grid. The water isn't consumed in this process. After passing through the Francis runner, it enters a component called the draft tube. The draft tube helps recover part of the remaining kinetic energy and carries the water toward the tail race. From there, the water returns to the river downstream. The same water has transferred part of its available energy to the turbine without being burned as fuel. But there's an important engineering challenge. Hydropower projects don't all have the same head or water flow. That's why engineers use different types of turbines. For high head and relatively low flow sites, a Pelton turbine is commonly used. High-speed water jets strike buckets around the Pelton runner, transferring their momentum and rotating the turbine. For medium head applications, the Francis turbine is one of the most common solutions. Water flows through the Francis runner while both pressure and velocity change. And for low head, high flow projects, engineers often use a Kaplan turbine. It looks somewhat like a giant ship propeller, but its blade design and control system are optimized for extracting energy from flowing water. Selecting the correct turbine depends on the hydraulic conditions of each project. Generating electricity isn't simply about making the turbine spin. Its operation must be carefully controlled. The turbine governor continuously manages the flow of water through the turbine. For a Francis turbine, it does this primarily by controlling the opening of the guide vanes. The system helps regulate turbine speed during operating transitions and controls power output when the generator is synchronized with the electrical grid. Modern hydropower plants combine hydraulic systems, sensors, protection systems, and digital control systems to perform this automatically. The amount of hydropower available depends mainly on three things: how much water is flowing, how far the water effectively falls, the net head, and how efficiently the turbine and generator convert that energy. More flow generally means more available power. More head generally means more available power. And a properly selected turbine allows the project to convert a high proportion of the available hydraulic energy into useful mechanical power. So behind the electricity produced by a hydropower plant is a surprisingly elegant process. Water begins at a higher elevation. It travels toward the powerhouse. Its hydraulic energy rotates a turbine. The turbine drives a generator, and the generator converts that rotation into electricity. From a mountain reservoir, through a precisely engineered turbine, and finally into the electrical grid. That is how the power of moving water becomes electrical power. And that's how a hydropower turbine works. Subscribe for more videos explaining the engineering behind hydropower and renewable energy.